Hi, it's Mrs. Haney, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about making inferences. Remember, reading is thinking. As you're reading a book, you should always be thinking and asking yourself questions. Reading is more than just moving your eyes across the page. Reading is really interacting with that text to make sure that you understand it on a deep level. And inferring can help you with this. Readers always ask themselves questions while they're reading. Why did the character act this way? What caused this to happen? How does this author really feel about the subject they're writing about? Asking questions helps you understand the text you're reading on a deeper level. To answer those questions, you'll have to infer. When you infer, you take the clues from the text that you're reading and you combine them with your schema or your background knowledge to help you make sense of what you're reading. We talked in class that oftentimes reading can be referred to as reading between the lines. And you'll have opportunities where, as you're reading, things will be just right there in the text. The author will explain them explicitly, but there's other times where you will have to read between those lines to figure out what's going on. In class, we've been reading the book Wonder, and we've had to apply inferencing skills to understand who the characters are. For example, the author introduced the character of Via, but she really didn't tell us who Via was and how she was related to Augie. We had to use clues from the text to figure out, first of all, that she was a member of his family, and then as we read on, we inferred more and applied those clues with their background knowledge to understand that Via was Augie's older sister. We've also inferred to help us understand why characters behave the way they do. We noticed that whenever Augie was meeting a new person, he always noticed what kind of shoes they were wearing. And when this happens 3 times in a story, it's a pattern that we can't just ignore. And so we had to infer. As we read, we noticed the context clues that when people looked at Augie, they tended to do that look, what the author calls that look away thing, where they look at him and then look away very quickly as a reaction to what they see in his face. And we inferred that Augie notices people's shoes because he's spending a lot of time looking down because he doesn't want to see what people, their reaction to him when they see his face. Inferencing helped us understand why Augie behaves this way. Inferring can also help you understand unknown words. An example of this is we were reading Wonder. Some of us didn't know what the word flounder meant in a sentence. And so we read the words around the sentence and we realized that they were on a boat during this time. And so we inferred that a flounder might be a type of fish. As we've been reading the book Wonder, we've also been inferring to help us make predictions about the story. To make strong predictions, we need to combine those clues that we're getting from the story with our schema to predict what might happen next or how a character might respond. For the next couple weeks, you are going to be practicing at home with the skill of inferencing. You have an independent reading book and you're jotting down times where you have inferred. You're recording the page number, what you inferred, and how it helped you understand the story. And I want to read some great inferences we got from 5th graders this week. Page 9 was an inference, and it said, what I inferred that Arthur was jealous of Stanley being flat. And how it helped me understand? I understand now why Arthur is so mean to Stanley. Here's another great inference. I inferred that calluses were blisters, like the kind you get from the monkey bars. It helped me understand that the girls at Ramona's party were playing on the monkey bars for a long time. And here's one more. I inferred that that giant green thing was actually a peach. And that helped me understand that there was a giant peach in the story. There was also some other great inferences where a fifth grader inferred that the story was taking place in the desert because they saw sand, and the author had mentioned that it was very hot, and it helped them understand the setting of the story and where it took place. Remember, you should be inferring all the time. Whenever we're reading Wonder, we don't even turn a page without someone in our class making an inference. So make sure you're thinking while you're reading, asking yourself questions, and using those great skills of inferencing to help you understand your reading on a deeper level. Happy reading!